Okay, so we're jumping back into the Master Duel Guide series. This is the second video in the series, so if you haven't gone and seen the first one, do go and check it out because there's a lot of explanation and setup that I sort of go over. And we're just going to kind of dive into ladder in this episode. So if you want to know sort of how we managed to get to this point, go and check that one out. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about and things that I won't be doing, and I want to just talk about why. There's the friend campaign available in Master Duel, and it does give you a very strong deck. The current one is Sprite, but the reason why I'm not going to go for that is because, or make use of that, is because it's not always going to be the same, right? I do want people to have the chance of coming back to this video and having the experience always be the same. And if I go and pick up this Sprite deck, and down the line they come back to the video and they say, well, I want to do that, but they can't because that deck, that campaign isn't always available, maybe, or maybe it is available but the deck is always different. So I don't really want to tap into that. Another thing to note is the events. Gems gotten through events. So I have done a little bit of the event before it expired, and I've just been playing through solo mode, and I've acquired gems that way. Now, gems is a bit of an exception. There isn't always going to be an event, but quite often there is. And I just view that as gem acquisition, which is something you can always do, right? You can always do your daily missions, and that gives you gems. Ranking up in ladder gives you gems. And if there was an event on, during the event, you get gems that way. And that is always true, right? I want to try and keep things consistent and only utilize the parts of the game that are always true. Does that make any sense? And another thing I want to note is that you don't need to spend your gems right away, even if you're reaching the cap, which is 10,000 gems. What happens when you reach the cap and then get more gems is that it goes into your gift box, and then you will see that these are claimable. Once the 9,000 to 10,000 gems you have goes down, you can then claim these and top it up, and you can see when you'll need to use these gems by. It's normally about a month, I think, before they expire, so you don't need to use it right away. You'll know when you need to spend gems so you don't lose these, and you can kind of plan accordingly. But for now, we want to jump on the ladder. What I want to kind of do with the deck that we made last episode is I want to try and get to gold with no changes. I want to get through bronze, well, through rookie, through bronze, and through silver with no edits. That would be the ideal scenario. If we start to have a bit of a hard time, I might put in some rares, but for the most part, I want to make no edits or very minimal edits and get to gold with this deck. And it's not the starter deck. Let's fix that up. We will copy over our ninja deck that we created, and I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to try and explain, maybe just for the first couple of duels, what the deck can do, and I'm sure for the most part you'll just see what's going on. You'll kind of get an understanding that way as well, but I'll try and do my best to explain what cards you want to go into, going first and going second, that kind of thing. So let's just see how we do. One of the key cards that you want to sort of tend to always be summoning is the Maizen. This is one of your key cards, and it requires 2 ninjas with different types, and it requires both of them to be on the field, and then you can send them both to the graveyard to summon this. So different types means the type here: warrior, warrior, and winged beast. So we want to get one of our warriors and the winged beast on the field, if at all possible. And I do think there's a way that we can do that. I'm going to activate Tobari. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to normal summon the Cargo in face up or face down defense. We want it to be face up because we want to get the effect off. Now when this normal or special summons, we can do a similar thing. We are special summoning a ninja from my hand or the graveyard. I'm going to go for this Senior Silver Ninja to try and get it in rotation. It's a high level monster, so we can't normal summon it unless we have a tribute on the field. But now we get to make use of Ninjutsu Art of Notebook of Mystery. If your opponent controls a card, a spell or trap, or a monster, we can set 2 cards to our field. One from the graveyard and one from the deck. Now, if you set a monster from the graveyard, you have to set a spell or trap from the deck. If you set a spell or trap from the graveyard, you have to set a monster from the deck. So we will pick the Tabari that is in the graveyard from its earlier effect. I'm actually going to go for Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts, I think. Yes, I'm going to go for the field spell. So the field spell, what it does is it recovers sort of archetypal cards from the graveyard when a ninja is summoned to the field. Now, I mentioned earlier that the monsters need to be different types and they need to be on the field. They don't need to be both face up. They can be in any position. So we'll send our Winged Beast and our Warrior to the grave and summon our Maizen. We will get the field spell effect as mentioned earlier, and I'm going to get back the notebook. So Maizen has a couple of different effects, and you kind of see it happening here. Maizen gives the effect to all of your ninjas to be able to attack directly. So we can either attack this monster or attack directly because Maizen is applying that effect to itself, obviously. I am going to opt to clear the monster here, however. We can't kill him this turn, so I will opt for the monster clear. And now we get to activate the second effect of Maizen, which when they activate a card or effect, I get to special summon a ninja from my deck in face up or face down defense position. I'm going to opt to summon the Geo. I'm going to go in face down defense. Main phase 2, I'm going to get rid of this set in case it is something that could hit our notebook. Well, set our notebook and pass it. So our opponent has removed some of our monsters with shield crushers. So we have a couple of things in the graveyard right now, and they're attacking into our Senior Silver Ninja. So we kind of get to show off the power of this card when it is flipped face up. I'll activate my ninja's effect. 1, 2, 3, and we get to swarm the field again. Bring all of our monsters back. The nice thing about Kagero and the Senior Silver Ninja is they kind of perform a loop. One can bring back the other. They can essentially keep bringing each other back and giving you a lot of resources to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I'm going to flip summon the Kagero. I'm going to bring back the Senior Silver Ninja. I'm going to use Geo's effect when a monster on the field is flipped face up while this card is face up, you can pop a card on the field. I'll go ahead and do that as well. Now we have Tabari and Kagero again. I am able to go into a Maizen, or I can go into a Saizo. I'm going to go ahead and summon out a Maizen again. We get our Maizen back. And with the Maizen's ability to give our ninjas to attack directly, this should be enough for game. So what I did there is just hold middle mouse button, and you'll see a total there of 6,400. That's the amount of attack, the combined total of all attack position monsters on our field. So 64 is greater than 55. So I know that when I attack with all of these directly, it will be enough for game. And that's our first W on the account. So this time we are going first, however, our opening hand is not the greatest. Really could be a lot better. So this might not go too well in our favor, but let's see. I'm going to set our trap cards, pass it back. Now we don't have a ninja in rotation on the field yet, so these cards aren't going to get any value. But I do have a debunk, and maybe that can do something. They are at hand size, so we'll get an understanding about what he's playing. When you reach 7 cards in hand, you have to, and you still have 7 during your end phase. You need to discard 1 out of your hand to the graveyard. And when he does that, I might get an understanding about what he's doing and why he's been passing as well. It could be, I suspect, probably Makanko. Makanko doesn't like to commit to the board. That was a connection fail. That is unfortunate. It might have been Makanko. Makanko kind of needs your opponent to control the monster in order to get their plays going. So that might have been why he wasn't doing anything either. But let's see. You can always go to your match history and view your record, so we can kind of see what our opponent's deck plays. It was Cyber Dragon. So yeah, Cyber Dragon is a going second sort of OTK strategy, but they didn't have a lot going on either, it seems like. But with that win, we do get into Bronze Tier 5.